And we are live. Welcome to the MLB Strategy Show. It is Monday, September 16th. I'm Josh Engleman. Follow me at Josh Engleman pretty much everywhere. Subscribe to the channel that you're watching this on, whether that's Twitter and you're subscribing to me, or YouTube. Subscribe to the Stochastic YouTube channel. Hit the like button on the video, by the way. Good morning, good morning. I hope that I make it through this show. That is my goal. And I can imagine you guys are like, well, Josh, why wouldn't you make it through the show? That's why. Normally, you don't get to see the white color on the precipitation map, but the white block is coming to wreck me. So my goal is to make it through this show. But I'm not confident that we keep power the entire time. It is loud, it is windy, and it is dumping on us right now. So in the next 20 minutes, I might be gone. But if we make it through, fantastic. We'll find out, though. That's for sure. But yeah, that's what I got sitting on top of me right now. Pause, I guess. So, yeah. We'll try to get through as much as we can. Slate is locked and loaded. Sim is running in the background right now. Lots to talk about. And I think we start with the easiest thing to talk about for today. No one's going to be surprised when they hear that the Diamondbacks are the number one stack. And boy, oh boy, is it not close. So that'll be fun. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I didn't really play much DFS, a little bit of NFL, a little bit of college football, but not too much going on over the weekend. Kind of took it easy. And we had really garbage weather. This rain was not the first time that it rained, that's for sure. Ken, good morning. Ice Through, good morning. Cujo, good morning. Steven, good morning. Let's get into it. And let's start with the team that we have to talk about, the Diamondbacks. Number one team, and there is not another team even close. I have the Diamondbacks 28% to be the top scoring stack today. I have the next closest team at 9. That's 3x the next closest team. Stochastic has Arizona number one at 24%. And they have, I'm going to assume it's the Rockies. Yeah. The Rockies are number 2 at 8.7. So again, I'm going to put that out there. Diamondbacks, 24% in Stochastic top stack odds. Rockies, 9. And the Rockies are the second best option. So way like 2.5 to 3 times more likely. The Diamondbacks have a 6.8 run implied total today. That is 1.6 runs ahead of the Rockies and 2 full runs ahead of every other team on today's slate. And they're stackable too. You know, you do get 3 outfielders in the first 5 guys, but you get second baseman in Marte. You get a first baseman in Christian Walker. They just look, on paper, they are just straight broken. So I'm very interested to see how much I get of them. I don't think their prices are all that problematic, given where some of the pitching lies. And they're only 15% owned, which I think is actually under-owned for the slate. I think you try to get away from like Gabriel Moreno and then fill it out elsewhere. So I'm expecting to have a lot of the Diamondbacks. I don't really know what else there is to say about them. They are unequivocally the number one team. Your cash lineup is going to have 4 or 5 of those guys, and probably mostly just a game stack of this game. But there's just no other way to look at this other than Arizona is number one. Now, for Colorado, Stochastic Top Stack Tool has them second. I have them third. It's the same number, though, 8.7%. They're not cheap. 13th in value from Stochastic, 11th for me. They're 5th in ownership, though, and I think that's what stands out. That McMahon, Rogers, Toglia trio, third, second, first. I like that stacking piece I think these guys might actually be a little under-owned for what today is. In particular, Blackman might be Blackman looks like pretty under-owned in the leadoff spot. And then I've got the Phillies as my number 2 team. Stochastic has it 3. So we have the same top 3, but I flip-flop second and third. Really like this one here. I bet Schwarber to homer already. Now, these guys aren't the most cost-effective, but you've got Schwarber and Turner combined for $12K total, so that's not going to be easy. But I love the park here. The lefty power plays up, whether that's Schwarber or Harper or Stott or Marsh. I don't mind attacking Savali. He misses so little bats, and I think that's going to be a real problem in those at-bats against Schwarber because, I mean, Schwarber's got one of the better batting eyes. So I think Schwarber's going to do some damage. Very happy to have bet on him. Not enough ownership coming into Savali to make me think that I'm going to get to a lot of the Phillies, but the Phillies are also 11th in ownership, so I'm hoping they could be a pay-up to be contrarian thing. Let me get Bug Boy's super chat out of the way. Apparently, he top 3'd, so good for him. But he said that he top 3'd, so congrats. There should be a rest of season promo for MLB subscriptions. Maybe. Or there's not, which is how it's going to be for the rest of the season. You guys looking at any other teams today? We hit my top 3. I think the only other team that I think I kind of want to look at, the A's, because Imanaga is pulling 25% ownership on the opposite side, and there's always the power potential of Oakland. Like, we're looking at an A's team where righty power plays up in Chicago. Brent Rooker has plenty of it. Langoliers has plenty of it. Daz Cameron's fine. Geloff's fine. Even Tyler Nevin's fine. These guys are pretty cheap. I would not be surprised at all to see me ending up with the Oakland A's today, given the amount of ownership coming in to Imanaga, which is 25%. I'd be surprised if I get to the White Sox against Detmers. I'd be surprised if I get to the Cardinals against Skeens. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if I got to the Nats against Manaea, but I don't expect it. Isu says Cubs. Yeah, I mean, I think they're just sort of like properly owned. I have them 5th. Stochastic has them 6th. They're 6th in ownership. Outfield short, outfield, first 4. I think the Cubs are just the Cubs today. All right. First sim is done. Let me finish off round 2. Glancing at Houston. I'm higher on Houston than Stochastic, but that's more of a like rank than a percentage. Top of the order looks probably a little underrepresented, and I don't mind targeting Darvish. Doubt I get to them, but don't mind the top of their order as like 2 and 3 mans. I guess we could do the same thing on the San Diego side with the Spaghetti Man going for Houston. And I think it's sort of the same thing. I mean, the Padres are 3rd in ownership. I don't see that at all. Like, they're good, but they're probably a bit overowned. To me, it's jam cores and play the Phillies. I think the Phillies are the best team that you can get to today. I think the Phillies are my favorite stack, like relative to ownership. factoring in upside and ownership, I think it's the Phillies. But like, I mean, it's really, you get this Diamondbacks team at 28% top stack. Then you have this like Phillies, Rockies, Royals trio. And then this is all just basically the same team. They're all 3 to 6% owned, all 3 to 6% top stack. Like, it's just really ugly. It's really ugly. All right, so hit that like button if you're here. We took a thin look through hitting. We'll look through it a little bit more when we start running the single lineup sim, which you guys can sign up for. If you click the links in the description of this video, head to Stochastic, sign up, whether you want MLB for the next month, whether you want NFL. The NBA is coming very, very soon, another month before the NBA starts up. We will have everything for that as well. You'll get a ton of work out of me. That was some big thunder. Ooh, baby. I feel like somebody's bowling in my house. Sign up at Stochastic. You've got NFL football tonight, Monday Night Football. Use the single game sim if you want to. Build out a lineup. Try to win big. All right, pitching. Well, the sim runs. You've got 25% ownership coming into Paul Skeens, most expensive guy at 9,800. 25% ownership coming into Imanaga at 9,300. Around 20 from Manaya at 8,500. And then you get the most owned play for today, and he should be $7,700 Reed Detmers is 34% owned. That price just isn't correct. I have him with the second highest projection of anybody on the slate. That's what happens when you get to face the White Sox. This is just a really, really good spot for Reed Detmers. I think he's clearly the best pitcher that you can get to if you're combining salary and upside. And the fact that Detmers is 7,700 really allows you to get to whatever you really want from a hitting perspective. The fact that you can get to Detmers, I think, will help you get to someone like, or to get to the Phillies, perhaps, who are a little bit harder to pay up for. But I'm happy to get to Manaya. I would be very surprised if I get to a lot of Paul Skeens. I expect Imanaga, Manaya, and Detmers to be my three overwhelming most owned guys. And then maybe Savali, maybe Ranger Suarez. We'll have an answer in probably like 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll start building out a couple lineups here. I'm trying to get through as much as I can right now on the off chance that this show just goes away at a moment's notice, which is very possible. 5K Cannon versus LA is not crazy. I mean, he's going to get ownership. I have him 7% implied, 7% owned, so I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I'd rather go to Joey Estes or Savali than Cannon. Cannon. Jake, is that real? That can't be real. That can't be real. No right-handed hitter has gone oppo into the Cove. How is that possible? 24 years, no right-handed hitter went oppo into McCovey Cove. Holy shit. How is that possible? Wow. I would have assumed like at least one a year. I would have been very, very wrong. That's nuts. Like, look, don't get me wrong. I understand it's a poke, but that's wild. That's any right-handed hitter, just so we're clear, right? Like, how did a right-handed hitter for the Giants never do it? I don't understand. Like, some of these guys have probably played like 600 games there. That's nuts. I can't even wrap my head around that. I don't know. All right, my sim is about to end. Now we could take a look at my ownership for today. So sim is done. So let's take a look and see what am I getting to for today. And I'm usually spot on. Like, I can kind of guess what's going to show up. Today's a little weird because of how ridiculously overpowered Coors is today. But let's find out. All right, we'll start on the pitching side. %46% Imanaga, expected. 46% Manaya, expected. 46% Detmers. If I'm being honest, lower than I thought it would be. But the three pitchers I expected to get are the ones I got. Under the field on Skeens, expected it. A little bit more of Savali. Not surprised to see that one either. Thought I would get to a little bit more Ranger Suarez, but I think it's just Imanaga overpowering that slot. But Imanaga, Manaya, Detmers, clear three best pitchers today. Funny that they're all in the exact same amount. What did I get to for hitting? That's going to be I jammed the Royals. I did get the White Sox against Detmers. I didn't think that would happen. Neutral to the Diamondbacks, neutral to the Rockies, neutral to the Angels. It's Royals and White Sox. So, Kepanekla, you asked about the Royals. Let's get into that one now. I'm going to start with the Royals as they are my most exposed team coming out of the sim, including massive stands on Tommy Pham and Bobby Witt. Reese Olson looks like he's going for Detroit. This is the number 4 team in my top stack, number 4 team in stochastic top stack, 3rd or 4th in value. We only have them 7th in ownership. I'm going to say this right now because I feel like I've seen this a lot lately, and this is not a testament to our data or anything like that, but I think with it being in mid-September, things are a little weirder on the MLB side. I expect the Royals to be significantly more owned than what we're showing right now. And I've seen this with some of the teams that I've been getting to over the last week, where I have a pretty big stand and they come in, 3-4% higher owned than we thought. And I expect that to be the case here. If we're grading out the Royals to be 4th in top stack or 3rd or 4th in value as well, they're not going to be 7th in ownership. And I think that might be causing a little bit of this. So it's not that I don't like the Royals. I do like them, and I expect to have some. I don't think it's going to look like this later because I think they're going to be a little bit more owned. The White Sox are the team we want to have the conversation about because you've got 34% ownership coming into Reed Detmers. Now, remember, I got 46%, but when I don't have Detmers, I am getting to Lou Bob. I am getting to Andrew Vaughn. I am getting to Brian Ramos. I am getting to quite a bit of the White Sox. 3xing the field, in fact. So if you don't have Detmers, don't be afraid to get to the Chicago White Sox. Also, don't be afraid to get to the Angels. Now, they are the second most owned team on today's slate because they're free. Two guys at 4,400, everybody else cheaper than that. Yeah, it's easy to get to the Angels. So they are a cost-effective stack. I'm neutral. I rarely get to teams like that just because that's usually like the optimizer stack. And then if we want to take one look at Diamondbacks and Rockies, I'm basically spot on the field here. A little bit bigger of a stand on the Diamondbacks. I want to have a lot of this game because they look so good. But you can tell based on the Royals and the White Sox, the two teams that I have the biggest stands on, not all that owned. So if I'm going to have a big Royals stack or a big White Sox stack, then I'm very happy filling out with Rockies, the higher owned Rockies and Diamondbacks guys, because I'm already not worried about ownership in that way. All right. We've taken a look at the hitting. We've taken a quick look at the pitching. Now there's only one thing left to do. It's the best thing that we can do. It's time to build lineups using the single lineup simulator. And I, Josh Engleman, the czar of the single lineup sim, is here to make all of your dreams come true. All right. So we're going to go large contest, 25% to first. And let's build one out. I feel like I got to go to the Royals since they're my number one stack. So we're going to build out a Kansas City Royals stack to start. So we've got Casey. We're going to go with, all right, Bobby Witt obviously just has to be in the lineup no matter how good of a valuer he is or how expensive he is. So Witt goes in. You got to put Tommy Pham in. Too good of a value to pass up. Seems to me we can either go Sal Perez or Perez and Fermin. And I'm going to grab them both. Fermin in at catcher. Salvador Perez in at first. And then I am going to get MJ Melendez as my final option. We might circle back and get a little bit more value from someone like Maikel Garcia. We shall see. So 5-man Royals stack is in. We need second, third outfield. And we need our 2 pitchers. Now, this part is kind of easy. We're going to Detmers by default. There's not a lot of ownership coming in on Kansas City. That's all that problematic. Detmers is the best value. And I see no reason to not get Sean Manaea as well. Now, we can get a little bit more aggressive if we want to. We have 4,300 apiece for whatever we want here. Second, third, outfield. Let's start heading to cores. So at second base, we could take a look at Brendan Rodgers. We can go Ryan McMahon. And we can go Hunter Goodman. And we have a lineup. That's 99.5 projection, 109.5 ownership. That's our first baseline number. That'll let us know what we need moving forward. I expect this to be decent. Yeah, 34%. Light work for right now. Lots of places that we could improve. I'm going to find out who's the best legit second base option. Honestly, it might be worth trying Ketel Marte because of the gap in projection. We have Marte projected almost 3 full fantasy points ahead of anybody else at second base. If I get Marte and get Eugenio Suarez, you can't roster a third Cardinal. We might be able to get off of Manaea and punt a little bit differently. If we want to get off of Manaea, hear me out here. I'm just going to add Jonathan Cannon just for a second, just to see what this looks like. That leaves us 4,500 as an outfielder. All right. So can I upgrade Jonathan Cannon with that extra 1,000? Who's the highest projected? No, I cannot. It's Cannon. 99.8, 113. This is going to be kind of the same thing. We kind of landed in the exact same way. It looks like I got to get away from Arizona, Colorado in that second. Ooh, all right. We're up to 45. I think we could do better than that Arizona, Colorado game, as weird as it sounds, for the filler here. So I'm going to go back to Manaea. The best second base option we can get to that has a real projection, I think, might be Luis Arias. And if we go Arias, third base is Machado. And then a 4K outfielder from San Diego. Does that exist? Nicked. All right. If I scrap Machado for Donovan Solano, that leaves me 6,200 for an outfielder, which actually does unlock Tatis. And now we have $1,100 left, which should allow us to upgrade from Manaea. It does. We could grab an extra fantasy point here and get Imanaga. 100.76. This is going to go up. This is going to be in the 50s or 60s. Jeff Williams. The weather is stupid here in Charlotte as well. Or I don't know why I said as well. It says also. I have to give the dog I'm fostering edibles because of the thunder. Me too. I had to give me edibles because of the thunder last night. It got really scary, so I was like, num, 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 num. And then I watched professional wrestling for 2 hours. 47.4. It's fine. It's fine. Imanaga coming back out. There's definitely a path here in what we're doing to really blow it out of the water, and I'm going to do that now. So we're going to head back to Kansas City, and we're going to change up a little bit of what we have as the Kansas City stack. Because I have MJ Melendez in, but he's not necessarily the best value option. The thing that I really want to do is take out Bobby Witt. And I know people are going to be like, why the hell are we taking out Bobby Witt? But I think that's the move. Because we get a little bit more value when we do that. I think we're okay with these 4. I don't want to go to a full outfield stack of Kansas City, but it feels like we might be doing that. Because you know what? I'll add Colt Keith. So we're going to have infinite money here. And that's where I think things start to get a little interesting. Third base can get us Eugenio Suarez. Shortstop can get us Perdomo. Outfield can get us Jock Peterson. And that still leaves us 9,900 at pitcher. In theory, that can be Skeens. And we're up over 102 with $100 to go. Now, I think that we can do better than Skeens. But maybe we can't. I mean, Skeens is the third best value pitcher there. So this will be interesting. But right out of the gate, it's been pretty clear that I can build a 40% ROI lineup like that today. Yeah, 35. We're sitting there again. So if I go down from Skeens, can I get a better outfielder from Arizona? Because I took Jock, who's the best value. But if I take Corbin Carroll, then I have 8,800 for a pitcher, which could be Manaea. This is probably going to be in and around the same. Corbin Carroll getting a lot of ownership. But again, this one's just based on the projection. We know we're going to be sitting in that like 40% range. Yeah, this run 20 because of that ownership makes you think that you could just drop off of Corbin Carroll pretty easily. And, even if you want to go to just like Jake McCarthy instead at a giant ownership discount and then go back up to Skeens, like you can do that too. 102, 68, and 124. I think this will probably put a pin in the Royals, and now we can start building out a different team. But we know what our thresholds are. Yeah, we're sitting in that 25 range. So now I'm going to go to my second team that I've built out. And this one's going to be very different. Who's ready to build out the Chicago White Sox? I'm sure that's everybody's favorite team for today. Look, they're free. So we're only taking the guys that are the best plays from Chicago. And we'll figure it out after that. Which means Lou Bob immediately goes into the lineup. Andrew Vaughn immediately goes into the lineup. Corey Julks immediately goes into the lineup. I'm going to take Moncada. Actually, I'm going to take... I can't take Moncada. I'm going to take Brian Ramos. Oh, man, these guys suck. And then I'm going to take Lennon Sosa. No, we don't have him projected in. So we have Amaya. All right, we do have Sosa. Wait. Oh, I thought Sosa had short. All right, so then we'll take Sosa. So 5-man White Sox stack. Which also means that we can't take Reed Detmers. Remember that. At that point, then, since we have so much salary, it seems like Skeens plus Imanaga is the way we go here. And that still leaves us $5K for catcher, short, outfielder. Now, the best catcher that's available is Gabriel Moreno, 8 fantasy points. He's 3,500. I actually like it. Although, we can spend a little bit more and just take Salvador Perez and not really give up much of projection, but we do save a ton of ownership. So I'm going to take Sal Perez. We're going to loop back into my Royals team because now I think we can get Bobby Witt very easily and then Tommy Pham. 99.39, but we got the ownership total below 100. So now what we're going to see what we can figure out is, can we increase the projection and maintain this? And honestly, we might be able to... I'm going to stop talking for a second. I'm going to let the screen do the work for me. The czar is in the building, folks. 95.5. 5-man White Sox. 3-man Royals, Skeens, Imanaga, and all of the monies. Woo-hoo! I'm damn good, guys. I'm damn good at this. Even the rain can't stop me. The rain cannot stop me from being amazing at this. And there's probably an easy way to make this better. Like, can I turn Sosa or Ramos into a Royal? Can I turn Lennon Sosa into a Royal? We want that game there too. Can I really not do that? Can I turn Brian Ramos into a Royal? No. That's a shame. Can I turn Corey Julks into a Royal? I can turn him into Melendez. This could get a little bit better. Not bad. Bug Boy, suck one. Clayton, I probably should have. Yeah, this is where the lightning strikes the house and explodes my stuff. Yeah, 65. All right, so the 5-3 is better than the 4-4. But just remember, we just hit 90-something% by building out a White Sox stack. So if you thought me getting the White Sox earlier today was a little weird, I think I might have just proved you guys wrong. All right, Jason Gordon said, can you do an Arizona stack? Absolutely. Would love to. So, let's start it up here. Arizona. We're going to need some value on this end. So, first off, I think that we have to take Corbin Carroll. Because I think he's just simply the best option. I am going to take Pavin Smith as the easy value. I'm going to take Gabriel Moreno as the easy catcher value. I'm going to take Jock over Jake. And then it seems like we're probably going to go with Eugenio Suarez. Now, I think Detmers makes the most sense because he's just very clearly the best value option. I don't want Cannon. I don't want Skeens. I am kind of interested in Merrill Kelly. Especially if we're going to have the Arizona stack. Now we need to cheap out on ownership. I don't like the idea of not having Ketel Marte in at second. We'll see what we can do to change that up a little bit because salary is just going to be a problem here. So Luis Arias is probably the best second base option that we can get to here. Although, since we don't have Imanaga, let's take a quick peek at Oakland. Zach Geloff. Jack Wilson died. This is going to be bad. Okay, then we can get anybody. So we have way more salary than I thought we would. Maybe it's not Oakland then. Shortstop is going to dictate this, actually. So that could be an interesting way to get back to my Kansas City dudes. If I go Witt, Massey, nope, that doesn't work. Witt's going to be too expensive for this journey. All right, so if it can't be Witt, Angels might come along for the ride here. Zach Neto, great value. We already have Detmers, so that helps. Michael Stefanik is incredibly cheap, and that would allow us to get to Taylor Ward. 103.95, but we're eating massive ownership, and we have $1,100 in salary. We will be able to upgrade Merrill Kelly to honestly nobody. Best we can get to is 7,900, which is just Detmers. We can upgrade Detmers to something, but that doesn't work. Yeah, 30% there. Not surprised. Not surprised. We are in a real tough spot. Might have to be a 5-2-1. Trey Turner, Tovar, Perdomo. Short's kind of gross. Like if I go Trey Turner, Bryson Stott, there is no outfielder I can even get to. Man, the Arizona stack is kind of difficult. And we have more than enough salary to do it. I thought Oakland was going to be interesting. Who's the Arizona shortstop option? Can I tweak this a little bit? If I put Perdomo in and get rid of Gabriel Moreno and put back in Langoliers, I have 3,800 for an outfielder, which can be Daz Cameron. Doesn't seem like this is going to be the one. Yeah, 14.5. What about Savali in place of Detmers or Kelly? Kelly's just the better play. Yeah, Savali will make it worse, not better. I really thought this Oakland one was going to really help it out here. I really did. Just out of curiosity. If I add in Tommy Pham there, 5-2-1. Ice through. I'll check that one out in a second. By the way, guys, schedule for the rest of the day since I have everybody here. Don't want to miss it. Coming up immediately after this show. So at 10 a.m., NFL Showdown strategy for Monday Night Football. You get Laffy and Matt Gajeski. Tonight, Greg Ehrenberg and Eric Lindquist will have MLB live before lock. And then Laffy and Gajeski will do it all again. NFL Showdown live before lock, taking you up to 820. Yeah, we got the 39.5 there. All right, Ice through. Let's take a look at it. You're getting weird and going Cannon. So Cannon and Detmers. Are in. We're going to Arizona. We get Moreno, Smith. We're going to Detroit for Colt Keith, Eugenio Suarez, Bobby Witt, Corbin Carroll, Parker Meadows, and Jock Peterson. 102.95, 140. This should be in the 30s, I think. It's going to be a little too owned. We can see if we could tweak it, too. Should be good. Yeah, 34. That looks solid. As I look at it, I like the Parker Meadows play. You get a pretty good ratio of fantasy points to ownership for him. I think the only spot that I would want to really change anything, can we improve catcher at all? Moreno has the best projection. No, it's not going to be Moreno. It might be Smith. Smith is the best projection guy, but we can find value in upgrades somewhere, I think. Because Witt looks good, but he's just expensive. Actually, if we pull Witt and go to Christian Walker, then at short, in theory, we can go to Trey Sweeney. That's probably not going to get it done. Pull Witt for what? I do like Bryce Harper today. I would like to get off of Cannon as well, if possible. If I add Perdomo in at short to go 5-man Arizona, it leaves me 5,500 at first, which can be Bryce Harper. This might be okay. Again, in the 40s. Yeah, 42. That makes sense. I really want to get off a Cannon, though, in this lineup. We got to give up a little bit of value to do so, but this is another situation where, if I hop up to Merrill Kelly, who's the first baseman that we can get to? Nolan Schnuel. And then you get the Pavin Smith spot back up there. So if I go Schnuel, it's probably going to be in the same spot. Another 5-2-1. Guys, I think we're going to pack it in here on this slate. You guys remember, we hit the 90%er. That's all that matters. Lazar was all over it once again. If you want to use this tool for the MLB side or on the NFL side, you can do that by signing up using the links in the description. Tomorrow, we are back doing it again. What's the schedule look like for tomorrow? What do we have? Since there's no football, tomorrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like we're going to have a 10-gamer along with a 5-game 6:30 slate. So should be a really nice day for baseball. I'm going to let you guys go. Odd Shopper Live coming up at noon as long as I have power. But for now, guys, hit the like button and have some fun. Enjoy your Monday. Later, everybody.